So how about if we start at the beginning? Did you always know that you were musical, or when did you start making music of your own?
I grew up in a small town in the Midwest, and we didn't have a lot of guys, in the classes, and so when it came time to be in the choir, I don't remember how I got into it. I guess they knew I could sing or had sung in some choirs or whatever, in church or something, I don't know. And I was one of the guys that was in the choir, and I could carry a tune, and I didn't go flat or sharp or anything, so I kind of was always in the choir. And that led to being in high school musicals, which led to doing musicals in college. And so I was always kind of around that musical comedy thing. And I had taken piano as a kid, but didn't really like it. And when I went to New York City in 1976 to become an actor, I bought a guitar and just took it with me and said, I'm going to learn how to play the guitar because I got to have something that relaxes me.
Do you remember what that first guitar was, what kind it was?
Yeah, I bought a Guild D40 at Herb David's guitar shop in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Yeah. I didn't really know what I was shopping for, and I think it was $400 or something, and I had it and bought it and took it to New York. And I used the guitar to kind of, as an actor, you sit in New York in your one-bedroom apartment or one-room apartment, and you wait for the phone to ring for like weeks. And you gotta have something or you're gonna go insane. So I just started learning how to play. And while I was doing that, I would write songs. And it became this kind of musical diary. And singer-songwriters do that all the time, and sometimes it really can be kind of, navel-gazing, where you just, me and I'm so interesting, and there's no connection. But I always kind of wrote knowing that somebody was going to be listening other than me. And not always, sometimes it was just some personal thing I went through, and then it went right into the notebook and became song number 122. But sometimes I was always writing that this might be good in a set if I ever got the guts to play in front of people some year. So I just kept writing, and the more I wrote, the better I got, and the more I enjoyed it. And I never judged myself. I never, because at worst case, they just go into the notebook. And you usually find some lick, or you find some little thing that you didn't know before when you're writing this particular song, and that might be the only thing that lives on. The song may die in the notebook somewhere, but you always got better. With each song I wrote, I got better. And to now that I'm out playing, and whether it's 100 people in a club or 1,000 people in some performing arts center, I've been playing for 30 years, and you can, you got this truckload of songs behind you that you can just pull out. And here's one I wrote in 1982. Boom. It's kind of a wonderful little personal musical catalog that you can draw from.
So are you immediately brought back to that time when you wrote it?
I can see, yeah, and that part of the fun of it for me is to tell the story of the song. Yeah. Songs are just stories, really. All things are just stories. We love a story. We whether it's a novel or a movie or a play or a song, it's just a story. And the beauty of a song, I think, is that it can capture, in a lot of cases, just a single moment. That's when songs really seem to do that best, where they, a songwriter can grab just an idea or just this little moment, the moment I fell in love with you, and it whatever the song is, that whole song spins around that one little moment, and I think that's really cool. Sometimes you write story songs and that as a playwright, I write a lot of those sometimes where you have a beginning, a middle, and then an end, and people are going, wow, and it becomes this little short story with music that rhymes. So it's the challenge of writing different kinds of songs. It's never ending. It's never ending.
So how do you think writing those songs helped you through those years, like the early acting and then, beyond that?
Well, the thing about music is that, and in my case, the guitar, it becomes your best friend. And you know, guys like James Taylor and Neil Young have written songs about their guitars. George Harrison, but it really is. It's always there. It's there when you need it. You know, I've written, I wrote a song called. Can't even remember it, but it's about, you know, you were there when I was falling and you were there when I fell in love, and it's always there in the good times and the bad, always sitting right there, your best friend in the world. And you also find out about yourself through music. You really, if you dive into it and stuff comes out that you wouldn't have found any other way than writing this song and exploring this idea and how you really feel about it. And as you write the song, you really, whoa, I really feel that way, or that dark, or that, you know, much in love, or that, you know, it can be this wonderful kind of personal journey. Whether anybody hears it or not, it doesn't matter. It's more about the growth in you, and music can really help that, especially writing your own music.
It sounds like you were self-taught, and a lot of people, when it comes to making music, they're intimidated because they think that they won't be good enough, or, you know, they don't know if they have what it takes. But it sounds like you didn't deal with that, or that wasn't an issue.
Well, with guitar in particular, you really, you know, it's true. You can know 3 chords and write 100,000 songs. So that's really not, that's crap. You can't judge yourself because you're not as good as, you know, James Taylor or somebody like that. So, and nobody has to hear these things. It's for you. It's self-expression. It's fun. It's enjoyment. It's learning about yourself. And there are so many opportunities now to learn and to get better that I didn't have in the 70s and the 80s. The DVD instructionals that they've got now, guys like Stefan Grossman have these, you know, Artie Tram and those guys at Homespun. They all, you know, both those places are wonderful sources where you can get a DVD. And Stefan Grossman, and whom I studied his tab books in the 80s in New York, early 80s, and you just open those things and you learn how to finger pick, and it's like sheet music. You know, I don't read music, but I learned how to do that. So now you've got DVDs where Stefan Grossman is sitting in the camera and he's talking to the camera and he's telling you right here, and remember, you got to do that. You know, he's showing you. You're having this lesson with Stefan, with Kev Moe, with all these guys. So there's really no excuse if you really want to kind of, you know, work at it just a little bit. And not just for really great players, but for beginners and the whole deal. So that, yeah, self-taught, but I was self-taught by those guys, you know, whether through the tab books and now the DVDs.
And do your kids play music? Did you raise them making music?
My oldest son, well, I got 3 kids, and my daughter is not interested, though she loves music. Her iPod is jammed. My middle son is in musicals, and has always sung and enjoyed that a lot. And he's just picked up the guitar. And my oldest son, and both the 2 boys in particular, they played sports all through high school. And I would take the guitar and I would go, all right, are you ready? You want to, because I'll teach you, I will go right to the blues. I'll make it fun for you. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, none of this, I mean, we'll have fun from, nah, Dad, I got to play hockey. No, I got to play baseball. No, I'm not interested. My oldest son came to me at 19 and he just walked into the, you know, my little office at the house and he goes, all right, I'm ready. I said, for what? He goes, teach me the guitar. Okay, all right, great, grab 2, go. Before, you know, didn't want the moment to pass. And he hasn't put it down since. He's 25.
Well, it sounds like you started a little later, too.
Yeah, I didn't really, no, I went to New York at 21, so that's when I picked it up, and yeah, I didn't start till then.
Well, today a lot of programs, music and arts programs, are being cut from